Thank you, Madam President and colleagues. I hope that we have all listened here today and recognized the similar debate that we had here on the Senate floor just last week. And it still leaves me kind of dumbfounded. I'm dumbfounded that in the wake of 2 years of a deadly pandemic that upended Minnesota schools, this is what we're burning up valuable floor time with. I'm dumbfounded that teachers and parents are crying out for resources, not only to recover from COVID, but to simply educate our students. And that is what the Republican majority is telling us is the most important thing, and we must do it to respond to it. Unfortunately, our Republican majority lack the progressive leadership on this educational issue, and it's failing our students, it's failing our teachers, it's failing our schools, and it's failing our parents. This is not an education agenda that tells Minnesotans that we value public schools or that we understand how important our schools are to the future of this state. Clearly, the Republican majority is not listening to Minnesota. I'm a parent. I had 3 children that went through school. I'm a teacher, and I'm a legislator, and I am charged with advocating for our students, our families, and our public education. And like all parents across Minnesota, I will always recognize the important part of partnering in my children's education. And like thousands of parents across the state every day, I made a point of partnering with our families because I can and because I knew that was the right thing to do. It's not something somebody has to tell me to do. It's instinct. But it's also the law in Minnesota. Many of us have showed that. If the Republican majority is listening to Minnesotans, they would not be bringing things like this bill to the Senate and again burning our valuable floor time. A bill that is a non-solution to a non-problem they know already appears in Minnesota law more than 40 times. If they really listened to our parents, they would know that this is not an adequate response to the parents and the things that they tell us. Why? Because parents already have that ability to partner with teachers and schools in their children's education. And they can already seek recourse if they feel the needs of their child are not being met. Parents like me and parents like the teachers of all of us already have the chance to give input on lesson plans that best suit their children. But despite that, our DFL senators oppose this because they have listened to the parents. We actually spoke to the PTA, the state's largest parent-teacher organization, an organization with hundreds of chapters across the state, and they unequivocally oppose this, as do many other education organizations across the state. We have also listened to what parents and teachers and school administrators have told us what they really need. And they have proposals to address the problems our schools are facing if only this majority would allow us to bring them to the floor or to even have hearings. So, to the parents and the teachers who have told us they want smaller class sizes and more investment in student mental health, and school counselors on the wake of the pandemic, we hear you and we want to help you. To every school district across the state being swamped by special education costs, we hear you and we have the proposals that will help. To the thousands of teachers across the state who, after 2 tough years, are thinking about leaving the profession, a profession that I hold near and dear, as do many of our members, because they don't feel supported. We hear you, and we have those proposals to retain teachers and recruit people who want to join the honorable profession of teaching. In short, we understand that our schools need resources to help our students, our teachers, our families, and our schools. And we also understand that with a $9 billion surplus, we have an opportunity to address the real needs of our schools in a significant way. Perhaps the Republican majority plans to bring real solutions forward soon, but they haven't yet, and time is ticking. In fact, they are actively pushing a costly voucher program to further defund Minnesota's public schools by $178 million. That is $178 million that is badly needed in every single school in this state. Colleagues, this bill, like the unfunded mandate that the majority is pushing through today and last week, is merely a distraction. It's a distraction that Republican majorities hopes will allow them to say that they're actually really doing something for our schools, when in fact, they are not. It's drive-by legislation that ignores what really matters in our schools and to our parents, and they should know that. They absolutely should know that. And yet here we are spending floor time once again on things that just aren't even necessary. I promise you, for our Senate DFL party, we will continue to push to address what we have been told are the real needs of our parents and our teachers in our schools, and that we are listening. We hope that the Republican majority will join us soon, and again, I urge a no vote.